So happy Monday for those of you that are watching in person or in real time in person. You're probably always watching in person. Anyway, it's Monday, so hi. So what we're talking about today, you guys, is why I believe, anyway, we should have multiple income streams running into 2024. I believe it would have been wise for us to be working on this for the past few years, which is why I created HBR when I did. So when I created HBR in 2020, right, it was as everything went down. As I created it in 2020, I saw where we were going. Like I could tell, you saw it in 2020. Well, the reason, let's talk about why we created HBR in the first place, okay? Because that also plays into this. So HBR wasn't created because it was on some sort of long-term growth plan or strategy or whatever. It was out of nowhere. Much like the environmental things that happened in 2020 were out of nowhere. And whenever we saw that stuff happen and we were watching the news and we were literally, I mean, man, do you guys remember those days? We were literally sitting and watching the news like almost like we were in some sort of movie, right? Where we were just like, what is going on right now? Things are getting shut down left and right. People aren't able to go to work, but they're not getting paid even though they can't go to work. So what do these people do if they don't have a nest egg really saved up, right? Then what is going to happen to them and what is going to happen to their families? And the data shows us that most people don't have an extra even $200 in their bank account for if something catastrophic or an emergency or even just like a radiator goes out, right? Like we don't have, like, the typical family doesn't have that much in the bank account. And that has been, I'm just gonna say it, that is by design too. I'm just gonna say it. It is what it is, guys. It's not like, okay, well, I'll get off that soapbox. I'll get on it another time, I promise. I don't have time for it. It's not the title of the video. I need to stay in my lane right now, okay? Y'all know I have thoughts. You know I have thoughts, many of them. I'm really trying to keep myself from saying them right now. So anyway, focus, Martha, on what you're trying to talk about. So whenever we saw all of those, this stuff happening on the news, right? Like we saw people losing their jobs, and we saw that they weren't able to go to work, and we intuit, right, that if we know the stats, because we know the stats of our families, if we know the stats of these families, and we know that they can't go to work, but they can't make money any other way either, it's a matter of time before you get into an emergency situation, right? And so when we saw that in 2020, Mike and I literally, we sat down and we looked at each other and we were like, we have got to show people how to do what we've done, because we were already doing well at that point. And it's a system, right? It's not like we just throw stuff at the wall and hope it works. It's like at that point, we had fine-tuned it to where it was a system, almost by design maybe, right? Not by our design, but by his design of, okay, you guys know this works. You know how to do this. Now go save those people, right? And that's whenever we looked at each other and we were like, we have to show people how to do what we've done. It's because what people believe is safety and security out in the world, like the 9-to-5 job that we looked at as security, is not security. You could be laid off any moment. And the reality, the unfortunate reality, is the older that you get, the more likely it is that that will happen. And when I say the older you get, that doesn't mean 60s, 70s anymore. The older you get means sometimes upper 30s, 40s, because they don't want to have to pay you what you're worth. And so then they find a kid to do it. Or they find AI to do it. This is the world we actually live in now, right? And so in 2020, it was scary because you saw it happening, right? Now going into 2024, it's scary because they ain't talking about it, but I see it. I see it, right? Everybody's scared of AI because they're like, well, AI is going to disrupt every industry. AI is going to disrupt every industry. It is. There's not an industry that it can't disrupt in some way. That it can't take jobs out of places in some way. And you might be like, well, Martha, there are jobs that people hands-on have to do. You think that right now. But then you see a fully automated McDonald's in Texas that you thought at least humans were going to have to take the money or do something. I don't know if it's next year or the following year. I'm sorry, I didn't even look it up ahead of time because I didn't know I was going to say it. It's either next year or the following year. Walmart plans on having a fully automated Walmart. Whole thing. We're already scanning our own stuff, right? We're mad about that. There's going to be a fully automated. So where we thought people needed to exist, now there are trade things, but that doesn't mean that robots can't be put in the place of people, guys. I'm not saying this as a doomsday thing, right? I'm saying this as let's be realistic, rooted in reality. Let's be realistic. Let's look at the world and let's stop playing the game. Okay? Because the game is a house of cards, and the house of cards is about to crash. It's already crashing. They're just not telling us it's crashing. They're telling us the economy's fine. It's not, by the way. It's not fine. If it costs over $100 for your week's worth of groceries, it's not fine. Not fine, okay? Things costing like tinfoil costs like $14 or something like that right now. That's insanity. Insanity, you guys. It is not okay. Things are not fine, all right? And if I'm just going to be the one to talk about it, then so be it. I'll be the one to talk about it. That's fine. But when going into 2024, we need to have our peepers open. We need to have our eyes open to reality around us, to the world around us, and stop hoping, wishing, dreaming that it changes for the better. And instead, what we need to do is we need to make it better for ourselves. And the beauty is that when we make it better for ourselves in the way that I teach you in HBR, if you make it better for yourself and for your family, a fallout of that, and by proxy, what is going to happen is you are supporting your people and you are creating community, which is precisely what people need right now in a world of robots. They need for us to be able to show up and to be like accessible as humans. So moving into 2024, the reason that I believe we need to have multiple income streams is because it's a whole new world out there. Cue the Aladdin song, right? It's a whole new world out there. And it can either be scary as heck or it can be inspiring as all get out. In HBR, if you're in HBR, we start January. I think we have 14 days left. What day is it? The 18th? 13 days left. You have 13 days to join. I'm shutting the doors on January 1st, and that's not because I'm a meanie. It's because when you're in there, you're solid. We're going. And there's not going to be any random people popping in, here and there, like, what's going on in here? And then we have to explain everything all over again. It's like you start with me, you end with me. We start, by the end of 12 weeks, you have multiple income streams set up, ready to monetize, ready to go. You can quit your job if you want to quit your job. Or if you get laid off, you can be like, whatever, man, totally cool with me. I actually want to do this more anyway. And the thing is to create income doing the things that I teach you how to do is so much easier than an hourly job, guys. It's so much easier than an hourly job because you want to do it. There's not a day that I wake up where I'm like, I don't really want to support my people. I don't really want to help them. I don't really want to talk to them, and that is never ever a thing for me. These videos are the easiest thing for me to do once I got in the role of it again, and I, got past my sort of trauma of last year, honestly. But once I got in the role of it again, or in the, whatever this is, cycle of it again, that's where I'm like, yeah, I could do this all the live long day, guys. I can talk to you all the live long day. I could teach all the live long day. I can tell you how I got through this and what you're going to come up against. And whenever you start doing this thing, this is going to happen. And when that happens, here's what you do. You guys, that's the kind of mentor and teacher that I am. I'm going to let you know what's coming up down your path before you get to it. So when you get to it, you know precisely what to do, and you do not panic. You do not freak out. You instead just keep going because you knew that was coming. That's the kind of mentor I am, okay, you guys? I look forward to my crop that is coming through in January through March, math. January through March, you guys, we are about to lay it all down. I'm really excited because today, what I'm working on today is I'm getting your workbook set up. I'm getting the new things that I'm adding into it all set up and managed out. And I'm working on the actual calendar of when the lives are going to happen and everything. It's pretty doggone exciting, you guys. But anyway, make sure you're in by January 1st. December 31st. You can't get in January 1st. It's done. By December 31st to be able to be in this cohort, so to speak, okay? If you want to jump in, the instructions are in the caption of this video, so just read through that and you'll be able to see how to hop in. But multiple income streams going into 2024 is what everybody needs to be doing. You're going to look back on this video in a year and you're going to be like, she was not wrong. I'm not wrong, guys, and I'm not here to fearmonger, and I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to be rooted in reality and say, guys, you got a decision to make, because a decision is about to be made for you. And whenever the decision is made for you, the fallout ain't going to be pretty, especially if you're not ready for it. Oh, I love you too, Christy. I see you there. It's an amazing mentor and teacher. I'm grateful. Oh, Teresa, thank you, lady. Thank you for talking about this. I'll talk about that stuff people don't want us to talk about. Agnes, this Martha I love. Focus, Martha, focus the best. Yeah. I have to talk myself into focusing sometimes. She said that. I love you guys. I'm going to pop out of here. I will see you later. Bye-bye.